Join us, the LBC, this year. Visit us at www.dominicanidaho.org. Visit us at online store at stdominicstore.com. Thank you, and see you in the video. Welcome to a Dominican Moment. Join us for the third Saturday of the month. Join us for the LPC coming up for the 2025 Late Prevention Council. For this 2025 at the Verbarosa Spa in San Jose, California. Join us for this video. Thank you.
Information and answer questions, talk to the commission, look at things, what works, what doesn't, and ideas and things like that. So it's just part of the call for your discussion on where we're headed and what they're doing. So dive in.
Okay. Good evening, everyone. You guys know, or have names for it?
Went to her room, she's supposed to be right
Okay, Sharon, and Father. So we are the team that worked together all year, and you guys have anything to start with?
I think we should just ask the question.
Yeah. What do you, is there any feedback or ideas or books or all of that? We want to hear from you guys.
Okay, can you give a synopsis of what you're doing, because that's not coming in the report.
So we've been praying and discerning on what we should be, the non-existent doctrine should be.
Okay.
So what I said before is what was the synopsis of what we're doing. And then what you got in your handout was the, do you want to go through that? Yes. Right, so just as a first.
And this is just for the first year, right? For
Yeah.
classes?
Yeah.
Where are you working on?
We're working on the second year, and we're working on details. These are just ideas right now.
Yeah, this is like an option, but we didn't have time to like write an actual formation program.
And
That's
Vicky-
not what the goal was, right? The goal was not write formation.
Vicki has a survey that she was doing based on some things that we were trying to do in our own fraternity. And then she just broadened it out, so she wants to send it out to everybody, and it has ideas for topics. And it has a few other things too. It'd be on SurveyMonkey, so it'd be really easy for you to do it. And she'll send it out at some point, and we need it back in the middle of August. I think there'll be a 2-week window. So if you want to put in any kind of input, which we would love,
And this is.
that will help
This is for
us.
ongoing formation.
Yeah, well, it is, but it also will help us discern what you guys find interesting for ongoing, which is what we're trying to offer, either as support for that, or as that's not included in the ongoing things that you're interested in. Maybe we should look again at that for formation. So it's just gonna be helpful for us. It's not something, what were you kind of
Well,
on?
so I have some copies, and I don't have enough to go around, but you can share and send me some to them. The idea was we couldn't figure out what to do this coming year after we focused on the Summa for the last 3 years, primarily on virtues, but we wanted to shift into something more applied. Take, what we learned and then shift it into, but there's a ton of different ways you can go about doing that. And we started talking about what do we think other people in our fraternity might want to study. And I have a background in survey research, so it's like, oh, okay. So put together a survey instrument that was divided up. And this is the second version of this, and now that I see some of what you guys have produced, I want to change some things here. But it's divided up into 2 sections, The first section has topic areas, and the second section has demographics. And this would be, if other fraternities want to participate, you would be able to get information back that's specific just to your fraternity. If people wanted to identify what fraternity they came from. And then also it's asking about the person's status, whether they're an inquirer or they're life professed or so on, their age grouping, how long that they have been associated with the Dominican. So we could get some information back about, you know, what kind of member wants what sorts of information. And the first section is divided up into topic areas, the Summa, history of the Dominican order, Dominican saints and blessed, Dominican spirituality and charism, governing documents, the Dominican rosary, the role of laying and preaching, Dominican philosophers other than Aquinas, and other topic suggestions. So some of these are just check the box, I am really interested, I'm not interested at all, and other things are open text boxes, which I hate, but nonetheless, we can get some really good information and be able to summarize it. So the idea was we're going to do it for ourselves within our fraternity because we want some guidance and information from our members about what they're most interested in and how they would like to go forward. But since I'm doing all this anyway, it's no more work to send it out for any fraternity in the province to participate, and then you could get your information back that would be fraternity specific, but then we might also get some information about the province as a whole, and variation and what we like. So this might be anyway, so this is what's going on with this. But then I saw this, how this was laid out, topic areas, and I'm thinking I may want to adjust the way these sections are so that this lines up a little bit better. That's all. But the idea is I would like to get this out early August. So because this is already second draft. So I can do a third draft. If anybody here sees anything on here you want to make comments on, get back to me and I can put it in. So I want to get this up and ready to go, and then the links can go out to all of your members if anybody wants to participate. And then I'd like to get all this back by the mid to end of August and try and get it all analyzed by the beginning of September so we can have results. Because a lot of us, you know, our fraternity in particular, we have to come up with, you know, subject area, and also we're working with student brothers.
Yeah.
So we need to, it would be nice to be able to give the student master some information about what we're interested in and might help them with assignments.
But just to be clear, this survey is for ongoing formation, not the initial formation.
Right.
It's for ongoing, yes. It's for ongoing, yeah.
It's attached through topics, but it's not part of this commission.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
But this is the topic of the hour, so, yeah.
So the initial formation document, I don't know if someone mentioned it before, but were you planning on adding in like relevant scripture readings too, or just saying that?
That was your question.
Yeah, it's like we modified our study in Seattle because I was telling you earlier that like one of the books that St. Dominic shared with him, the Gospel of Matthew and then the Epistles, right? So the first year we focused solely on Matthew, and then the second, and we also read the St. Dominic book, and we read relevant parts of the catechism that go with the theme of each chapter, and then in the second year we read the dialogue of St. Catherine and the Epistles, and then the relevant catechism sections that go with whatever the theme of the readings are. So that's how we read that.
Yeah, I do think that those things should be added in. It was more because the goal was like, what should they know, not specific. Like even this that we came together with wasn't actually part of the goal of what you know what I mean? So like this is like an idea of what we think includes all of those things, plus we would add. So we can come up with more and add more.
Yeah. No, just like that's what we.
Yeah, well,
This is just a starting point.
yeah, so starting point,
Next year's more specific.
yeah. It's actually a combination between a few of our ideas, because we came up like, all right, take 9 months and like lay it all out there, and Nick went through and brought it together.
That would be very helpful. Thank you.
Is this still a draft or is it on the website? Or are you just looking at something else?
Is this on the website? I don't know if it's on the website. I did not submit it to be put on the website, because it was just going to begin here.
Yeah, that's what.
It's not in any form of,
Yeah.
to follow, yeah.
But if you have nothing, or if you feel like, okay, I want to get that book and go
Can
through
I
it.
say from what I've seen so far, great.
It's hard for us.
Also, we've got a bibliography for it.
Yeah.
Yeah, he emailed it out.
You have a question back there?
I'm sorry, you probably said, is this for the chapter to fill out, you can do it on the chapter to fill out, or is this for the formation director?
Oh, that's.
For
Are
that,
you talking about
yeah.
my name, the survey thing?
The survey?
It's gonna be, this is the draft, and it'll end up online. So if you see anything on there you want to make comments on, just give me feedback, and then I will fix it up and get it on.
You're talking about something else, I'm sorry.
Oh,
But do you,
Thank you.
when we email it out, people in the chapter can fill out,
Not just the formation director.
not just the form.
oh yeah, everybody,
Everybody.
yeah.
Yeah, that's ongoing.
Yeah,
This
and
is,
that's ongoing.
this is,
Yeah,
for formation.
okay.
But she wanted to bring it up
Mhm.
because, you know, it's related.
So we can go over the themes by month, which is more of like what you can pull in if you have different sources that you want to use. So the first month would be Introduction to Dominican Life, the overview of the order, formation process, fraternity, and importance of Scripture, and liturgy of the hours. And then the focus was on St. Dominic. And then the second month is Dominican charism, truth, and community and rule, and emphasizes truth, unity in the church, community life, and the rule. And it has suggested readings. The third month is contemplative and apostolic life, so that we go over the mendicant tradition, contemplative prayer, holiness, and community pillar of prayer. So this is the same information as the front page, but just more details on what's in those chapters and what you would go over in those chapters and in those. Yeah.
Okay, so this is just a skeleton. My vision, I don't know whether we're gonna do it, but we talked about it. And you talk about it and it morphs. So I'll just tell you the way it is right now, is to have objectives, questions, and some kind of something for formation directors to have a clue as to how to present or where to get more information on this in case you're not so versed in that particular subject. But we also want to have a piece eventually that is just for formation directors to have some clues, like how to present things, or you know, how to have discussion with you. Because some people, they may be the formation director and have no background in what to do, and maybe nobody to even ask. So we want to make it that simple. So some of you that are seasoned, you're going to say, you know, whatever, or you might pick up a tip, who knows? But we're hoping to have something like that, because there were some people last year that were asking about that. So we don't want to forget the formation directors as well. So this is just a skeleton of the subject, not the method.
I really like that idea.
I have a very practical question. How, so this is once a month for the formation, for initial formation, and what's the time frame of meetings generally?
They meet once a month as well.
But I meant like for an
Sure.
hour?
Well, you're separate from the ongoing.
Yes.
It's
Okay,
not,
I know that, but-
ongoing is with your group, so this is a separate meeting.
I understand, but for how long are the, say, the possible?
Like 20 minutes, an hour, 5 hours,
Yeah.
how long each
Oh.
one?
Yeah,
I don't know. Our formation directors have to talk about that, but our chapter is
an hour.
An hour for the initial formation?
Yeah, they meet for an hour. We have our regular meeting for about an hour, and then after that, the formation group meets for about an hour.
Okay.
It also depends on like if you have questions, like when we go further and develop like work questions, discussion questions, and how long you want to spend on that.
You used to do about 30 minutes to 45.
30 to 45.
man, I knew nothing about it.
It also depends how many people you have.
Yeah,
Like, this is one person.
yeah,
Yeah.
I was one person and the formation director was close to me, so I met every week for a couple hours to chat and, so my formation's completely different.
Yeah.
So that's why I wanted to know what's the real world like?
Gary? Questions after. So for our group, we tell them they need to allot 2 hours. Because
Okay.
that first half hour is praying with the group, because we do the rosary together as a group, then the regular chapter meets, and then we meet with our novices for an hour and a half. So then we have a half hour for scripture, a half hour for the book, and a half hour on the catechism, or at least to allow time to flex it, so that if we want to spend more time on the book, we can, or more time on scripture. That's how we allot it.
It gives them the opportunity to spend time with the professed, and the professed to be able to see what's an initial formation.
That's important.
To start
Yeah.
recognizing and seeing community life.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate that.
We're all over the place. We're an hour and a half and exclusively on the formation material.
On you're an hour and a half on formation, whatever formation.
You're a,
Topic you're doing, it's an hour and a half for us too. When we do it, we do ours, we meet in the morning, 8 o'clock is when they do their formation for an hour and a half. And then we go to morning prayer, and then we go to, say the morning prayer goes, we go to mass, have our meeting afterwards, and then have ongoing formation after that. So our Sunday, third Sunday is from 8 till about 2.
Oh, wow, that is all.
You know what, that might be actually, when it gets time to do stuff on the formation, I might call on some of you guys to give us your plan so we can have different ideas of how somebody might want to organize, because they're all good.
Yeah.
They're all just different. You had a question over here?
No, I was mentioning, we spend the first few meetings going over the different forms of prayer, mainly related to gallery, because that's something that we do in every major meeting and every initial meeting. Is we in an ongoing meeting go through the related gallery, that's the first thing we do. And then
In your formation or in your ongoing?
ongoing, and in the initial, we teach how to do it.
That's what, that is, you think that's very important to include that from everybody,
We have three together now.
including the people that are in formation.
Right, we
Yeah.
have to learn how to do this.
Yeah.
As we go through, we'll put in on the about that.
I think you have to be flexible too, like we have one lady whose spouse, her husband has been a long time Dominican. And so they came and said, look, we go through this all the time, we want to jump to this, and then they're both university professors. We want to do our own research first, and then come in prepared. We'll go and read all about it, and we'll come in, and then we'll discuss it. And so I was really flexible with them because it's such an unusual situation.
We require everyone to take turns preaching, so we'll study things, and then everyone throughout the year takes their turn to get up and present 15 or 20 minutes, and then we have a discussion afterwards. And as preachers, I think we find that to be very helpful, because a lot of people don't like to get up in front of an audience, and then after they've done it a few times, and they realize the audience is pretty friendly. Is that pretty common practice, or is that?
Yeah, we do that for ongoing formation. All our members take a section of whatever book we're doing, and then we do that for ongoing formation. And our religious, but we have our religious, Father Income, who's also a professor, so, he'll be able to shout when we don't have quite enough to do, so, quite enough to say. So that would be really nice.
Can I ask a very dumb question?
No,
Because
And
I'm gonna approach it because I have no idea. When we're talking about first year, are we talking about novices or apostles? Okay.
That's the first year.
Yeah. We're just watching.
We haven't got to second year yet.
Yeah.
I didn't know apostles was just like attending relics, regular meetings, hanging out, doing some osmosis, and then like getting serious and going through the first year formation, or
Well, it depends on the chapter. Like for our chapter, the novices, the posthumous and novices, everybody meets that first hour. So we do in the morning, we do liturgy of the hours with the priest and the brothers. Then we have brunch. Then we go into our meeting. We have ongoing formation where study topic is presented. And then after that hour, there are questions and answers, and then we do our business, and that's usually about an hour. And then after that, everybody ongoing goes home, and the formation people stay, and they do another hour. And that's where they meet with the formation director and do their own study, that they're given information prior to the meeting that's different from the ongoing meeting. And they come prepared to discuss that, and so they're exposed to both.
And our formation director is in Tennessee and we're here. So he does everything on Zoom. And it's kind of nice, because they just pick a time when they, and you only have two at this point, so the three of them can get together, And so I think, like you said, it depends on how many people you have and, what you're doing in your group.
One thing that I hadn't heard yet said tonight was, maybe we're a little weird. Our group meets on weekdays, so we actually invite the whole family of the person to come and see them, especially their children. And it becomes very much oh, you're my brother Dominican, this is your uncle so and so.
That's cool.
One of the fraternities in Oregon, in Portland,
That's amazing. So
Yeah, the whole family chapter. That's why when I heard an hour and a half, I was like, yes. And I think that they've done for the past couple of years, they've done a separate day to do the initial formation. Because they have 10 people. So that's
We
been
also
on
have
Zoom.
2 days a month, the second and the fourth Mondays. We do only Zoom scripture study on the commentary, the Gospel of John, right? So we also have that.
Oh, cool.
So we also have scripture, just it's sometimes.
Like that. Don't make a comment with it.
And it allows we do an hour study and then so we pray, do an hour of study, pray the litany of St. Margaret Stella, and then have community time for like half an hour, 45 minutes. So then we get to know each other, especially people who are distant, who get to come in and we get to know more.
That has been a very powerful attraction to several people in the district, is the Bible study. And if they're not too far away, and then they call in, Lana is heading this up, and they become part of the chapter, because they're attracted to the truest ministry.
So there are other options to like separating formation out a little bit if there's interest and somebody's willing to do it.
One of the oddities of the Boise chapter is we have never been able to successfully do first-year formation outside of the main chapter. I have no idea why. So we end up blending it all together, and everybody gets re-educated every couple of years. And everybody's going to make their comments.
Everybody gets a refresh.
Well, I've tried like 16,000 times.
We actually do something similar. We actually open up initial formation because what we found is that a lot of people who have been Dominicans for a while, because there's so much turnover, naturally not people leaving, but people changing position, we find that formation, especially initial formation, can be spotty or different depending on how people are. And we invite everyone of the chapter to go to our initial formation. Not to be in the same state. You're not a postulate again, you're not knowledge again. You're here to observe and apply your wisdom that you've learned as a Dominican in your practical life. And that, if they want to refresh it, they get it. If they don't, they don't. But for people that, we have someone in our chapter who's been in this for years and years, and he wants to learn liturgy of the hours, because he never learned it when he joined them years ago. And we have to have, I'm happy to do it one-on-one with him, but we have to have that willingness to just, there's a concept of continuous improvement and continuous re-education, and there could be both of those.
The other thing that we discussed a lot about is not just books and whatever is written, but also podcasts or YouTube videos or any source that someone can listen to on their drive. People have busy lives and they want to learn, but sometimes they don't have the time to sit and look at the things. You know what I mean? It's like, how do we allow them to join and grow in their faith and grow in learning with these the new media?
something like that, but I think it petered out because of,
Well, I'm not gonna be fired anymore, and I'll have more time to do other stuff. That's what and of course I'm not retired, but I retired from my old job, so I'm gonna have more time. Well, I'm gonna have more control over my time, let me put it that way. So, where I'm headed with that, I don't know, but we'll see as the months go, but, maybe that's the direction we'll do, something like that. I'll have more time to organize the second election. It's kind of a response to the COVID thing, COVID thing. Make sure people are getting in touch with that. I'm not with COVID, but how getting together.
And part of the mission of our chapter also is like planting seeds elsewhere. You know what I mean? Like helping form people so that they can start their own chapters where they are. So that's the hope. That's what we're working for. But we are over time. But anything else? Anybody want to help who are writers who want to help these writers? Anybody?
Would you like to volunteer to
Does anybody
write?
want to volunteer to help be more in the more specific parts of the formation? Yes?
Over there, yeah.
Are you volunteering?
Yeah, I'm also Joe. And there's someone else over
There's a
there.
question over there.
Or sign you up to
Hold on.
volunteer.
Yeah,
Volunteering?
Jack.
Over
there.
there.
Sign me up.
Oh,
Okay.
okay. So, sign her up, sign him up. So we got the, you guys need to come, give us your.
Give us
Yeah,
your.
I'll come over.
Yes, yes.
Oh, okay.
And, we've been meeting once a month. And going over things.
Do you have a particular day?
Yeah, sometimes
We don't,
What, do you have a particular day that you guys do, like every third Monday or every?
Tuesdays.
Tuesday.
Usually around
Second or third Tuesday.
second, about 7.
I have our day, like every Thursday at 2 p.m. But not during the summer, so I guess I'll October.
Okay.
A lot of before I forget to mention, because I will forget, I narrow my practice. If you have guys who want to do writing and research, it's going to be questions. I'm very curious about that because I love looking at stuff, but
Well, I
there's
would love to go more into what we're doing, but also to get some formation started on the tenets of mission. Like that we just aren't as readily available, that we were discussing earlier. So that's really what
She wants you all to suffer.
I suffer well.
so we have a meeting date, and
We don't have a meeting date yet.
Will it be in August or September or what? What month? August, okay.
I haven't had a chance to look at the new formation with all the acronyms, but I wanted to ask if the commission or whatever we're called, if it's okay with you guys if I actually start implementing that in the chapter, just with those readings and discussions. Because
We would love feedback.
yeah,
See how it works.
we have a lot of people that are
If
very
you
much.
hate the book, be like, it's not working.
Yeah.
It's a great book.
Because I love the book, doesn't mean everyone else does.
No.
And you have, your chapters you govern yourself. We're just here to help and try to.
I just want your permission to use your thing.
Oh, absolutely. But with that permission comes, you have to report back. Yes.
I'm not ready to.
Okay. Are you good? Anything else?
Anything else, anybody?
So I was wondering if we could do counseling in our chapel. After this, if you want to, it's
Yeah.
optional.
Yeah, let's go for it.
Not yet.
Not yet?
We're not
Afterwards,
done.
afterwards.
Oh, we're not done. Okay.
Or you're done, then we can move on. Part of the discussion we looked at involves what the goal of this was. This won't take very long. Matt expanded on and the apostles of the chapter, and Matt did an excellent job. I want to praise you for that because he did. I think that it was well done, and it gives us ideas, but it also gives us this kind of thing can be done. wanted to mention a couple resources. One was, I have been in communication with Bob Curtis, who's written quite a bit on this, and I haven't read his stuff thoroughly, but he sent me a list of things that the chapter, his ideas, and I actually had a bunch of them printed out, and then I was starting like this thick, and I was shoving them into my suitcase. It was just too much. And they pushed it over 50 pounds.
Wow.
That said, I do have it online, and it is ideas about apostles that chapters can do. And he lists opportunities to preach. And it goes into pretty good detail. I mean, he did a nice job. He was going to come, but he couldn't. He had some issues, so I'll prepare for Bob. I've never met him, but we've had some good conversations. I'll send that out next week. And then the other thing is I received from New York, from the Eastern Province, were just very simple one-line ideas for apostles, things that you can do individually. One, I was just looking at a minute ago, soup kitchen, or teaching OCIA, just like what Matt's done, and a number of other people involved in various chapters. Getting involved as a catechist. And there's other things. So I'll get those two things out to you. I just wanted to discuss that. It's really rich information, and it's the core or the backbone of what we should be doing, because it's ultimately, when we study, contemplate, and pray, it's then it's action, right? That's the point of today. And in that comment, and what I was trying to get across, if it didn't come, was that God asks us to do that. That combination, if you love Him, you obey His commandments. One of His commandments is love your neighbor, and that's the action that we're called to do. And loving doesn't always mean you're in the middle of feeding. It means that you're teaching, preaching, and this is largely a Dominican terrorism, so it's important.
There's building off that. We have to remember, and I know we have the garden court here. There's the spiritual works of mercy and the corporal works of mercy. Even if, like, my chapter is pretty scattered right now across the geography, but I will say that our chapter does adoration at whatever parish you happen to be near that has it, for whatever intentions are going on at the time. If the world is going to war, you're praying for peace. If someone is dying in Israel, you're praying for someone who's dying in Syria, you're praying for them. And it can be local, it can be external, but the point is that trying to be across it. There's spiritual works of mercy also. So even if your chapter, for some reason or another, is limited to, say, another COVID happens, God forbid, we always have the spiritual works of mercy to build. Even if you're physically limited or monetarily limited or structurally or legally limited.
My 2 cents. I think, both spiritual and corporal works of mercy are very important. I think as Dominicans, it's good to put more energy and time into the spiritual works of mercy, because that does align more with our charism compared to other orders. And those examples of being a catechist, etc., are, not to call on the people you're teaching ignorant, but it is the form of instruction in the ignorant, right? It is important. I think, and this doesn't apply to everyone too. One thing looking at a little bit in Seattle, but like, we exist right next to the friaries. And in what ways can we tailor our ministry to align with that of the friars, or to augment and assist? In what ways we can cooperate as a larger part of the Dominican family? Obviously, it's not going to work for everyone, but to your point of prayer, and again, this is something that we're thinking about locally, we haven't implemented, is to see, okay, for those members who aren't able to be active in something, certainly praying, are there needs from the council? Are there needs, an easy one is what is the Pope out every month, right? But also, are there needs from the friars too? That's something that we're...
And I'm just going to say, in our chapter, we visit the sick, all of our prayer members. And then if there's a priest that's available, available, we will take that priest with us to visit someone and bring that priest back home. You know, so that the priest is not driving, we are, you know, well, I shouldn't say we are, I should say I am.
That's wonderful.
But the idea is, like you said, you know, do spiritual works of mercy, and that these are people, when we go visit the sick, we're going to visit someone that's in a care facility, but everybody in that room next to the person we're visiting sees a priest coming in, and everyone's like, pray for me, priest, Father, pray for me. So the priest ends up giving a blessing to the people in the bed next to the person that we went to see. So you never know, you know, when you're doing that kind of work, who you can help, you know, so you just do it.
There's one just gentle reminder to everyone who's taking part in formation, especially in the leadership position. Every conversation you have, whether by example or by intention or by spoken word, every conversation you have, every interaction you have with someone, especially if they're in formation, and if they're going to listen avidly, can change not just their life, change everyone they touch life. And it can keep going on to the point where you can change the nation's life. So that you have to realize that you have to build in a back end. Sow those seeds and build in a back end so that they can grow themselves.
That reminds me, there's some deep truth to that. I remember being asked, would you like to join the third order after colloquium in DC or what's the third order? Well, from just that short conversation, it changed my life, right? So there's so much truth to what you just said. I mean, tons of truth. It enables people to encourage and carry weight they never thought they would. And the other thing is, pray for Russia too. Not just this bad situation on both sides. Anyway, go ahead.
Okay, this is not on the spiritual or corporal works of mercy. This is I forgot something, so I want to remember to say it before we leave. One of the things we have also been working on is Nick has an upcoming series that I have announced on that we're going to be recording for recorded formation. So if you guys have your own stuff that we can share for formation, if we want to see it, we want to hear it, we want you to produce it, it's also a good ministry to have. Whom do we worship?
Whom do we worship for? Who is the true God?
So that is going to be
Systematic understanding of the nature of God.
Good stuff.
so,
And I can add it to the website.
yay! So we
that
are starting to
reminds me.
also.
I want everybody's ear on this one. That if you have writing, if you're doing writing, and you want to share it with someone, then get it to me, and I'll review it, and I'll see to it gets on our website. We call it the anthology, right?
Yes.
Reader of the members' anthology. We have it in the Boise chapter, and you can go on there, and if there's some subject matter you're interested, you can dive in. And so I offer that out. If you have a writing you want to see it on the website so people have access to it as a resource or just to simply read it, get it to us, refine it, edit it, get it down to the point where you're proud of it, send it to me, I'll review it, and we'll get it on the website, okay? And the other thing that I want to remind is contact information on our key website. Alejandra brought that up really great yesterday, but I want to repeat it and again. You have an email, a phone number, get it to us because people are calling me or sending me emails. I would love for them to access your contact information so you get the phone call or the email. So thank you.
Okay. Are you guys ready to be done? Take off.
Are we done? Are we done?
We're done. I just want to mention one thing. I think that it's got to be obvious. It's got to be obvious. Just thank you so much to the commission, both the particular director commission has done a wonderful job, and the formation commission. They're very, very doing a very good job putting it together and giving this direction. And over again, they prove themselves on this. I'm so thankful to all of them. Can't say enough about that. Thank you so much. A no requirement, yeah. Yeah, okay. I don't know.
Can I put it in one place?